On this episode of Flightline News, get ready for a busy semester with a record number of new flight students this year. And the flight department will be offering a high-performance endorsement for the fall and spring semester. Find out about all this and more. Flightline News starts right now.
Welcome to Flightline News, I'm Bob Thomas. This fall promises to be one of the busiest the Daytona Beach Flight Department has seen in many years. A record number of freshman aeronautical science students will be taking to the skies this September, and the Flight Department has been gearing up for their arrival all summer. Over 400 new students are registered for the fall semester, each one eager to get an instructor and start their training as soon as possible. Flight Standards has worked non-stop all summer standardizing new instructor pilots so that none of the students have to wait long for an IP assignment. We've got Paul Cairns, Flight Standards Manager, here to talk with us about what is involved in bringing on a new instructor pilot. How many flight instructors will be on the line and ready for action this fall?
When we start this fall semester, we'll have approximately 150 full-time flight instructors and about 36 part-time instructors.
So how does an instructor applicant become an Embry-Riddle flight instructor?
The standardization process is very strict and takes about an average of 5 weeks. First, the applicant has to apply online for the job, be selected, and go through a 3-part interview process before even being selected for class. Once they're in the class, they do a ground lab training session, which is about a week long. They're standardized in the FTDs and then finally in the airplane. And they have to pass a final acceptance flight with a senior flight standards IP before being hired on as an instructor pilot. During that process, they also go through an HR onboarding process, which includes a drug test and background check, amongst other things.
With the high instructor turnover, is the hiring process an ongoing effort, or is there a certain time of year that this happens?
The majority of our hiring takes place in the summer. Right now we're finishing up the training of about 53 instructors, but we will do training anytime throughout the year whenever it's needed. In the past year we've hired, or will be hiring, about 103 flight instructors in total.
The flight department will have over 1,100 students enrolled in fall. Do we have enough instructors to handle all of them?
Once we're done training all of the instructors that are going through the process now, we'll have the ability to take on about 1,200 students, which will be more than enough for the 1,156 that have registered for the fall semester.
Thanks, Paul. Flight Standards has had a busy summer preparing our new instructor pilots for the start of this semester. For many students, their first flight at Embry-Riddle will be the first time they've ever been at the controls of a small airplane. Thanks to the entire Flight Standards team, our students will be sitting in the airplane almost as soon as they're sitting in the classroom. The 2016 Air Race Classic took place from June 21st through the 24th, and it marked the 40th anniversary of the all-women air race, and Embry-Riddle had the honor of hosting the beginning of the race at the Prescott campus and the finish of the race at the Daytona Beach campus. All in all, the route traversed more than 2,700 miles over a dozen states. There were 55 teams competing in this year's race, with Embry-Riddle fielding 4 teams, 2 from each residential campus. Emmy Dillon and Abby Passmore from the Daytona Beach campus won not only the collegiate division of this year's race, but also secured a first-place finish overall. The other Daytona Beach team of Sarah Wendt and Sojung Ahn finished 16th in the collegiate division and 42nd overall after having to make a safety stop for maintenance issues. The 2 Prescott teams finished in 7th and 9th place in the collegiate division and 16th and 23rd overall. In addition to the 4 teams representing the 2 campuses, an independent team featuring 2 Daytona Beach campus College of Engineering faculty finished 3rd overall in their first attempt at the race. It was an impressive showing for the university, and our Lady Eagles reaffirmed that Embry-Riddle produces some of the best pilots in the country. The Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University Industry Career Expo will be held this year on October 6th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the ICI Center. This event is open to all Embry-Riddle students and alumni seeking full-time internships or co-op positions. Representatives from over 60 companies will be attending, making this a golden opportunity to meet potential employers and network with alumni. Even if you're not a graduating senior, many of the companies offer internships and co-ops that can be extremely beneficial for making contacts and getting work experience to build your resume. Your first impression is often the most important, so dress accordingly and be prepared to hand out your resume. Do your research and have a list of targeted companies that you want to make contact with. Ideally, your resume should be customized for each employer. Find out as much as you can about a company before you introduce yourself to them, so when they ask you why you want to work for them, you'll be able to provide an intelligent and well-informed response. For more information about the Expo, visit the Career Services Office located on the second floor of the Student Center. Once again, the Flight Department is offering discounted training rates during the fall semester breaks. A 10% discount will be in effect for the fall, Thanksgiving, and winter breaks, and for those students that come back early from the winter break, there'll be a 50% discount from January 3rd through the 10th. The discount applies to all activities except for rentals and refresher flights, and all discounts are subject to aircraft availability. It's a great way to knock out a few extra training sessions while saving lots of money in the process. Some of you may have noticed that one of our multi-engine airplanes doesn't look like the rest of them. That's because a Beechcraft Baron that has been loaned to the university by Textron Aviation is now parked there. The Baron G58 boasts a maximum cruise speed of just over 200 knots, a maximum rate of climb of 1,700 feet per minute, and a maximum range of 1,480 nautical miles. The best thing about the Baron are the two Continental IO 550C engines that power it. Because these engines produce 300 horsepower each, the Baron qualifies as a high-performance aircraft. This means students receiving training in the airplane will be eligible for a high-performance endorsement. The Flight Department will be making this plane available for training to any student that has successfully completed the AS-321 course and has finished one of the following multi-engine commercial courses: FA-322, FA-323, or FA-324 at Embry-Riddle. Here to talk with us about thoughts of the Baron is Sherrod David, who recently got standardized in the airplane. Sherrod, why is it a good idea for pilots to have a high-performance endorsement in their logbook?
A high-performance endorsement allows students to develop their knowledge and skills as pilots, especially in general aviation. Although the Baron isn't a jet, it is still very fast and it still has to be flown within its limitations. So students develop new skills, they refine old ones, and they just get a new experience in new aircraft.
So what should a student expect when they take this course?
The students should expect to basically apply all of their previous training and knowledge at flight courses at Embry-Riddle in pursuit of this high-performance endorsement. We'll train the students in the normal, abnormal, emergency operations of the Baron, and students will learn how to plan out and stay well ahead of the aircraft because it is very fast. Of course, despite all the workload, it will be a lot of fun to fly and just a great experience for students.
Thanks, Sherrod. If you'd like to add a high-performance endorsement to your logbook and you meet the prerequisites, you can sign up for FA-395C. It's a 1 credit hour course and will only be available during the fall 2016 and spring 2017 semesters. Don't miss this opportunity to fly one of aviation's iconic twin-engine airplanes and walk away with a high-performance sign-off when you're all finished. This year's NIFA Region 9 SafeCon will take place at Daytona Beach International Airport, with Embry-Riddle hosting the event. The Embry-Riddle Eagles flight team will be competing against 5 other universities. We're happy to have Emmy Dillon, the NIFA Region 9 president, with us to give us a little background on what NIFA is. So Emmy, what does NIFA stand for, and can you tell us a little bit about what the organization does?
NIFA, which is the National Intercollegiate Flying Association, was created to allow students, collegiate aviators, to expand their studies and further their careers by participating in competitive and non-competitive events, as well as networking with industry and applying themselves to go above and beyond their normal curriculum.
How long has Embry-Riddle been a member of NIFA?
Embry-Riddle has been a NIFA member for about 35 years. We just celebrated our 32nd consecutive win at regionals this past year, so we're estimating about 35 years.
How many other universities are members of NIFA?
There's about 80 to 100 schools within NIFA, but it does range from year to year. There are 10 regions within NIFA, and each region has between 5 and 10 schools, so it varies, but it's easy to say that there's about 80 schools.
For those interested in getting involved in NIFA, what would be the best way to do that?
If you're a student, it's really easy to get involved with NIFA. Just go to your local university, see if they have a flight team like us, the Eagles flight team here at Daytona Beach. If there isn't a team, you're more than welcome to start one. There's always a reason to have a flight team. It's a ton of fun anyway. If you are a graduate or if you are a professional, you can join NIFA online and volunteer as a judge or as any other part of the competition experience, and they're always looking for more people.
NIFA has an upcoming event here at Daytona Beach. What can you tell us about the event?
Later this fall, schools from Georgia, Alabama, and Florida are all going to convene here in Daytona Beach and compete in the Regional SafeCon, which stands for Safety and Flight Evaluation Conference, which is just a fancy term for competition. And they're going to compete in ground and flight events, so you'll see us doing pattern work around 7 right, doing shorts and offs as well. So be on the lookout for us, and you can keep up with us by following us on Facebook at Eagles Flight Team, and you can also check us out on our website at eaglesflightteam.com.
With all the new faces at the flight department, Jeremy Mammon, the Director of Aviation Safety, would like to take this opportunity to reach out to everyone and remind them about the safety department and the important role everyone plays in making Embry-Riddle's safety culture one of the best in the business.
I'd like to take a brief moment to give you a quick, brief overview of what we do in the Aviation Safety Department. If you're ever involved in a possible FAR non-compliance event, or if you ever witness an unsafe act, I want to let you know that there's a place that you can stop by and you can submit safety reports. So with us in the Aviation Safety Department, we review, we receive, we interview, we come up with findings, we do an investigation, and we also provide recommendations to every single safety report we receive. Last year we received over 800 safety reports. A large portion of those also came from students. So we would like to see that number stay around 800 and receive as many safety reports as that we can get. We're located over in the Flight Operations building. We're right behind dispatch. We're in room 118 Bravo. You can stop by, knock on our door if the doors are closed, or you can submit a safety report using our WBAT system. WBAT is our web-based application tool. You can reach WBAT by logging into ERAU dbsafety.wbat.org, or you can go onto ETA and click on the link section, and the fourth one down you'll see a link for our safety reporting form called WBAT. There we would just require you give us a brief explanation of what took place, provide us a date and time, and a quick narrative, and that way when we receive that safety report from you, we'll be able to reach out to you, bring you into the office, discuss what took place, and provide you with recommendations, if applicable. Additionally, we also have a lot of resources here in the Aviation Safety Department. If you're familiar with ADS-B, we use a software program called OpsView, and we're able to track and review your flight that you conduct here at Embry-Riddle. So if you're ever interested in reviewing your flight, please stop on by. We'll be able to pull it up and we can show you a quick overview of what you just did, what you conducted out there in the airspace. As well as our aircraft are equipped with flight data monitoring, also called FDM. So FDM gives us the capability to record 55 parameters in the Cessna 172 and our Diamond aircraft as well. Those parameters allow us to look at engine indications, possible overspeed conditions, or if you have an engine anomaly in flight and you would like to review that, please stop by our office. We can pull up that information and show that data to you as well. So we have a large range of resources. We encourage you to stop by, submit a safety report. If you see something, say something. We're located over here in the Flight Operations building, so please stop on by, come see us, and you can also speak with my team safety leaders located in Office 118 as well.
Well, that's it for this edition of Flightline News. If you have any other comments, suggestions, or story ideas, contact us at specialvfr@erau.edu. And don't forget, you can find all of our previous episodes of Flightline News on our ERAU Special VFR YouTube channel, and you can follow us at facebook.com/specialvfr. I'm Bob Thomas. Thanks for watching. There'll be planes, and there'll be stuff, and there'll be more planes.